Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to another wonderful edition of the OFTV platform. My name is Gladys. I am a financial planner. I give financial advice, and I also used to be a banker. You know, once a banker, always a banker, but that's by the way. Anyway, I hope your day has been good, and I'm sure we're going to have an exciting time as we begin to talk about something that is really very important. I want to propose this to you. You are the first person to be rewarded in everything that you do. That includes your money. And so today we're going to be talking about the blueprint of reward. What is it all about? What is the blueprint of reward? You hear the word blueprint, and most times what comes to your mind is probably the original document or something that is of its own, origin, something that is the first of its kind. And the actual truth is you are the first of your kind. They say, oh, there's a second person like you in the world. Well, I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but one thing I know is that each individual is uniquely placed, uniquely positioned, you understand, to do great things. And so everything you do in life, really and truly, you are the first beneficiary. You might think, oh, I'm doing this for my friend, or I'm doing this for probably my family. But at the end of the day, you are the first person that gets to get the reward of what you do. Reward, in actual sense, could either be good or bad. But today we're going to focus on good reward. So, my question to you is that for whatever, or I want to propose to you rather that for whatever you do, think about it. What do I stand to gain? Now, when I say that, don't think, oh, you have to be greedy or something, or you're not being selfless. No, 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 no. Whatever you do, always ask yourself, what do I stand to gain? Do I stand to impact my world? Do I stand to cause a problem? What do I really stand to gain? And when you're talking about your money, when you go out every day to make money, be it that you work in a corporate organization or small business, or you have your own, business that you do, wherever it is, what do you stand to gain when you go out every day to, do your job? The most prominent thing that we stand to gain, apart from being fulfilled, the first thing that comes up actually is the reward of money. We want to be rewarded financially in today's world for whatever it is that we do, be it a service, be it something that we produce. But in today's society, looking at all that has been happening around us, we just come to realize that there are major problems concerning money. Some of us just find ourselves that we cannot afford to pay the bills, not anymore. The job that we're doing all of a sudden can't seem to sustain us or carry us from point A to point B. When I mean that, not just commuting, but maybe you're now living paycheck to paycheck, and you just feel overwhelmed, you feel totally out of control, and you feel confused. Don't worry, there's hope. Why? Because you have the DNA to make things work for you. Now, I want to ask you a question before we go any further. What is money to you? Don't be in a hurry to answer, honestly. Think about it, let it sink. What is money to you? Really and truly. Or let me put it another way. What does money mean to you? Let it just sink for a few minutes. Let me put it another way. How do you see money? If you can answer these questions, then, we're halfway to solving the problem. whatever it is in whatever capacity. The honest truth is that there's something in all of us that either drives us or is just there in our subconscious about what money is. For some of us, money is for spending. So you have the spenders. If we're looking at the money habits, I'm sure we're going to look at that one of these days. Or the money personalities, rather. For some of us, we're spenders. For some of us, we're conservers. We like to save, we like to keep. For some of us, money is just to solve problems. You understand? For some of us, money is meant to be enjoyed, or money is meant to use to help people. It all depends on what, your upbringing. For some people, it has to do with their upbringing. For some people, it has to do with experiences in life. So they have taken certain positions or certain stance as regards money. Whatever it is critical at the end of the day that you are adequately rewarded. And if you feel you're going off concerning it, you can always make adjustments and get back on track. Today we're not talking about the money personality, so I'm not going to go into that. But I just wanted to pose that question to you. Another question I would like to ask is, what is that, should I say, paracetamol problem that you have? There's something that is always, you can't just seem to solve it. When you have a headache, you reach out for paracetamol or ibuprofen or whatever it is that you take. I know paracetamol is the most common, pain, headache solution that we go to. So what exactly is your paracetamol problem? What is it? Is it that, how do I manage my money from paycheck to paycheck? Is it that all of a sudden I cannot seem to save up anything? Is it that I just find myself, I have to borrow and I really don't want to borrow? What exactly is the problem? Your problem might not even be in this category. Your problem might be medical bills. Your problem might be, the mortgage. It could be so many things. And it just there like a headache, nagging you. You wake up sometimes at night. You're thinking about it. You're commuting during the day or even at work. You find yourself lost and you're thinking about it. And the honest truth is, what do you really do? When you get to that point, you need to look inwards. Why? Because in all of us, like I said, we have the DNA to solve the problem or to minimize the impact of what, I won't say solve the problem, let me use the word, minimize the impact of what we're feeling concerning money. It's going to be good. Let's just continue along. Now, when you have a headache, most times, the first thing you do is you take paracetamol, okay? And then probably after 3 days you realize, the headache is not gone. Like I remember not too long ago, I was having consistent headache and it wasn't going away. So I went to see the GP. She did a blood test. She did so many things. And at the end of the day, she came up with some diagnosis that I really did not understand. She talked about temporal arthritis and so many other things. I might have to do a biopsy, and all that. And at the end of the day, I had to take a decision. Do I want to really go down the route of having a biopsy done, and I just couldn't understand. So I had to do a bit of research and I had to look inwards. What is really causing the headache? And along the journey, I discovered some habits, i.e., I wasn't drinking as much water that I should. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't sleeping well. So many things came into play and I decided I'm going to help myself because I really don't want to do a biopsy. And I don't like the sound of what she called temporal arthritis. I'm still trying to, it's really one of those tongue twisters as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, by the way, I was able to minimize the impact of having headaches all the time. I try to make sure I sleep early enough. I try to make sure I drink as much water. And I like water, and I just realized, truth be told, I wasn't taking enough water, not anymore. So I try to drink as much water as I can during the day. And in the course of all of that, my blood pressure actually was high. The diastolic pressure was high. And I found out that that wasn't really very good. But at the end of the day, everything came down and no more headaches. So the same thing with your money. You need to look inwards. What exactly or how exactly do I approach this headache that I have? The thing is that for those of us that we earn our salaries, we need to get to a position where we have to do certain things. Probably we have to cut down on certain things. We have to let go of certain lifestyles, or we make lifestyle adjustments. So what I will say, what is the prescription for the headache? You understand? Go to the source. Go to the place where you know, okay, this is where my problem is. It might be that one thing I found out for myself is sometimes you just get carried away and you subscribe to so many things, and at the end of the month you just hear the alerts going off in your phone. Ting, 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 ting. And sometimes you think you actually have money, but when you check your balance, you're in utter shock to realize that what happened here? Everything is gone, or what I thought I have, I don't really have it. And then you begin to think. It's a good time to step back. Probably I need to get off some of my subscriptions. I told myself that a few days ago. Probably I'm paying money that I don't even know, is going out. And my bank helped me to even trace that, because they sent me a message saying they suspected a fraud on my account. And when we were conversing, they said, oh, there's a certain amount that has been going out for about a year. I wasn't even aware of it. I didn't even know what it was. And they had to keep probing and asking, do I remember paying for this? Do I remember doing this? Do I remember doing that? And I told them, honestly, I can't remember. But I went into my email and I found out that I had actually unconsciously subscribed for something. And they were hitting me with that bill every month. It was a smaller amount. You understand? Probably that's why I didn't notice. But you can imagine that particular amount coming off every month for a whole year. It had amounted to something. And they had noticed this has been going on, and they brought it to my attention because they felt it was a bit odd, it was a bit off. The description wasn't clear. So sometimes you have to get to the source of the problem. What really is the problem? Do I have to offload? Do I have to cut down? I noticed that I had so many things, some clothes that I wasn't wearing, some clothes and shoes that I had worn just once, and I told myself, you know what? This is a good time. Spring is here, so let's do spring cleaning. Now, I have no problem you giving out things, donating to charity, because I like to do that also. And I also like to buy from charity sometimes because you get actually very good things there. We're going to talk about that in a while. But the honest truth is, I started selling off some of those things to make extra income to support some other areas. And I won't lie to you, it is the best feeling in the world. I'm super excited doing it. Just before I came up, to have this talk, I went to do some deliveries, and the joy that somebody else is going to enjoy what I had was actually very good. Yes, I didn't sell it. I didn't look at the fact that, probably I bought something for £50 and now I'm selling it for £20 or £15 or £10. But the joy that is going to go to somebody, you understand, and I get to make a little bit of money was just, something that I really, really enjoyed. So you can also do that. Cut it down. Look at it. Sometimes we go shopping and we just buy things that we don't want. Another area that we do that also is with food. and you end up wasting, so much. I notice that sometimes we really don't know how to, I won't say we don't know how to, but we don't take the time to preserve, i.e. your bread. I always throw my bread in the freezer. I learnt it from a friend. And you find out that it stays there, and once you bring it out, you pop it either in your microwave or the oven, and it's as fresh as could be. Instead of leaving it on the counter and then it goes bad, I try to find ways, nice ways, to preserve my vegetables so they stay longer. I always like to have a deep freezer wherever I am because I like to freeze things. I cook meals in bulk and I just leave them there over time. So you find out that there is always something to eat, no matter how little. There's always something, and I like quick meals. So there's certain things that I always have, like tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, and you can always use that to whip up something. It can go along with your pasta, it can go along with your rice, your potatoes, you name it. So we can always modify, and that actually is what I would say. Be deliberate in saving, not just your money, you understand, literally, but save on all these things, so you find out that you don't always have to struggle. I won't lie to you, there are times that I don't really have the money to dine out or eat out, but I look at it, okay, if I want to say I want to buy maybe chips or something, I could actually go out, buy a bag of chips, pop it in my oven, and enjoy myself the same way buying it outside. For the days that I feel I want to give myself a treat, fine. You can also create a budget for yourself. I used to have that and I still have it, and it's called a me budget. I reward myself sometimes for anything, celebrate myself, and I create a budget for that. And so I take myself out, maybe I buy myself something, or I buy myself a meal, just to celebrate myself. And sometimes when I can't really do that, probably I feel, I should actually save up on that budget. I try to cook something delicious, something out of this world. So you find me going on YouTube channels and different places, just looking up meals and getting something good in the house. Now, another thing is avoid diversions. In solving your problem, like you can't have a running stomach and then you go take paracetamol. It won't work. You have to take what will solve, your running tummy problem and not paracetamol. So the same thing, we find ourselves sometimes or most times or all the times getting into diversions that we're not supposed to go into. What do I mean by diversions? Now, use your money for what your money is supposed to be for. If you know you have budgeted £100 for transportation, please find a way, either put it on your Oyster card or whatever means you have. Like one of the banks I use, you have money pots. You can create as many money pots as you want. And I won't lie, it was a very good way for me to hide money, or it is a very good way for me to hide money. And actually I learned that from a tragedy, I would say. And the bank stepped in and they helped me and they told me, this is what you could do. So when I have maybe my transportation money, I just drop it in the money pot for transportation. Maybe when I have money for bills, certain bills, I drop it in the money pot for certain bills. You understand? So you're able to not find yourself getting into the wrong places financially or getting monies mixed up. You have everything planned out. One of these days we're going to talk about budgeting. It is critical. A lot of us feel the money is too small, so why should I budget? But you should budget. A budget is simply a plan, a financial plan. We'll talk about that later. You find out that every organization, every government, they all have budgets. The thing is, when you have your budget, stick with your budget. It's created for a purpose. Stick with it. try to not to divert. Don't say, oh, I'll replace it later. The honest truth is you would end up, some of us are so good at it, we end up not ever replacing that money. If it's gone, it's gone. So try. Easier said than done, yeah? Yes. I'm just like you. So try. Each day you learn. The thing about money is that you never really finish learning about money. It's a continuous practice. It's something that you keep doing and doing till it becomes a habit. You have to keep doing it, and as you master one habit about money, you pick up the next habit about it. So avoid diversions. If the money is meant for groceries, please use it for groceries. Like, I like to, sometimes I find myself doing spontaneous, I just spend on the spur of the moment. If I'm feeling blue or I'm feeling a bit bored, I had the habit, I had to curb it. I'll just go out and buy something just to cure my, whatever it was. And I found out that it wasn't what it should be. If I'm feeling depressed, I need to find out what's making me depressed. If I'm feeling blue, I need to find out what's making me feels that way, and I need to address it accordingly. Now, another thing is teamwork. I'm speaking to those in, your family. Everybody has to be, it's a good way, everybody has to be involved in the financial matters. Excuse me, what are you saying? No, not everybody. But in all honesty, when you discuss these things with your spouse, even the kids, you find out that they actually understand, and it makes the burden on you a lot easier. So when a budget is created, a budget is actually shared. You understand? It's shared if you work in an organization. Like I said, I used to work in a bank, and at the end of every year, at the beginning of every financial year, there's a budget that is created. And the budget is created in line with whatever department you find yourself in. So if you find yourself in the front office, there's a budget created for you to go out and raise funds or raise capital. If you're in the back office, there's also a budget, an expenditure. How do you spend the money that is being brought in, vice versa, and all of that. So you can create, you understand, set up your team at home. Sit down, discuss it. Even if you don't want to discuss it, there are nice ways you can go about setting up your budget. But the thing is, get everybody involved. Concerning money, you need to be honest. You need to say it as it is. But don't say it in anger, please. Say it in love, as politely as you can. And trust me, you find out that whoever it is, they actually would understand. Sometimes defer the things. Oh, we can't do it now, but let's plan towards it and we'll get it done. And everybody chips in. And there's something about kids. When you tell them about money, and I've seen it so many times, they're actually the ones who try to save. They try to save the little pennies you give them. They try to save it up. And you're amazed at some of them, the skills that they have at such a young age, being financially, knowledgeable or financially savvy. So get everybody involved. It's really important. And then another thing is learn to negotiate. Learn to negotiate. That is something that the rich do. A lot of us think, oh, they have the money so they negotiate. They're very good negotiators. They don't argue over money. They don't fight over money. They don't quarrel over money. They negotiate. And that is it, getting back to the blueprint of reward. What is in it for me? So they negotiate to get the best out of a deal. They negotiate so that they can, you understand, get the best results or the best financial gain out of whatever it is that they're doing. We also, whatever level we find ourselves, rich, not too rich, I'm not going to say poor, because it's just we find ourselves in different spectrums, as regards the financial ladder. But whatever level you find yourself, learn to negotiate. Negotiation sometimes is not negotiating with another individual. Negotiation sometimes is check out the price, have one, two, three options. Probably you need something from H&M. Go check Next, or go and check M&S. Compare the prices. That also is negotiation. Do a comparison. See how best or where best your budget can fit into. Or check, go to the charity shop or something, not just for clothing but everything, even concerning food. Like, I had a preference to shop for a long time, and after a while I realized, look, some of the things that I like, I just did a brand switch and I shop somewhere else, and it's okay, it's good. I'm not really missing, or I'm not missing anything at all. I have more money, I can stretch my pound, you understand, and I'm good to go. So we can also do that. And then another thing is, learn to say no. That word, no. Now, your no, you understand, must come from a place of sincerity and honesty. If it's within your power to do it, do it. But if you know it's not within your power, be nice about it, but do say no. Because sometimes we get ourselves entangled in a lot of financial issues because we simply did not say no. Like I said, you are the first recipient to be rewarded in everything you do. That includes your money. There's no point you're getting yourself, entangled or inconvenienced when you know you can't really do it. So be honest. And I'm sure whoever it is that you're dealing with would appreciate it that you were honest, from the get-go. It's not that you say yes and then halfway you can't do it. It messes things up. That's not how it should be, really. Now, I want us to just, okay, my tab is hanging, but we'll continue. Now, I want you to look around you. Remember, we're talking about money, the blueprint of reward. I want you to look around you. Look around you critically. Money comes as a value of products. What do you have that you can use in exchange for money? Think about it. Yes, we have our professions, but there are other things that you have around you that can give you money, that can, be another source of income. There's some of us, we are fantastic cooks. We cook up whatever it is. It tastes mwah. Have you thought about it that you can actually use that to make money? You could actually teach people. There's some ladies, some of us, we don't know how to cook. There's some of us, because of the kind of work we do, you find out that you need the support, and there's some that are ready to pay for your services. You can actually cook and make money out of that. There's some of us, we know how to make clothes. You make your own clothes. You can teach people how to make clothes. You can make clothes for people. There's some of us, we do our makeup ourselves, and it's as if we just came out of a MAC studio. I'm not selling brands here. It just came to my mind. But we can do that. You can also do that. There are loads of people who need somebody that will just help them put up the eyelash, pick the right shade of lipstick, know how to, pick the right powder. There's some of us, we just like shopping. I know of somebody, she will tell you, once I hear the word market, I'm excited. And we've encouraged her that, look, turn it into a business, become a personal shopper. She's been doing it unconsciously. She just don't worry, I'll do the market run. She will go in, check everything, and she'll get back to you. You could do that. You could turn your shopping habits into something that will get you extra income. as you're going along. Some of us get gift cards. Like I just realized the other day I went to another shop and I found out that, oh, somebody had given me a gift card for Christmas and I hadn't used it. And I wanted a skirt. And after about almost 2 hours going through the rack and everything, I didn't really see what I really wanted. And something just told me, that gift card you're holding has a value of £50 on it. Why don't you multiply that £50 to £100? You've gone through the rack for almost 2 hours and you've actually seen clothes that are on sales, discounts. Some of them are going for less than £10 and they're of good quality. Why don't you pick it up, add it to your new love that you found of selling things online, and you'll make money? And there and then my shopping trip ended. I told myself I will go home, sit down, look at what I really, really want from the shop, because I had a mental picture of quite a number of things there, and then go back, pick them up, and sell them. You can. Yes, it's a gift to you, but that is a good gift that somebody gave me that I can always multiply and multiply and multiply again. Now, we all have the ability to solve problems. That's what I'm just saying. Now, people like, what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg, he solved a major problem. And you remember during the pandemic, when everywhere was locked down, all of a sudden Zoom came out and it was like, boom. And some people were like, oh, I've never heard of Zoom before. I've never heard of Skype before. Google Meets and everything. And guess what? Till today, we're still using it. Things haven't changed. We didn't go back to how things were pre-pandemic. You understand? We have just found ourselves in a new world, in a new era, and we're all going along with it. Now, I can't remember the guy who created Zoom, but because of the lockdown, you understand, this guy became a multi-millionaire. Zoom had been around for a long time, and people were not paying attention to it. And for those who couldn't afford the monthly subscription for Zoom, they were like, hey, guess what? There's Google Meet. It's free. You understand? I just got to find out there's another one, StreamYard. There's so many of them, and the world has just been going round. So you as an individual, you have the ability to solve a problem that you see around you. Now, during the lockdown, I was not here. I was in my home country. I got locked in my home country. And I noticed that I had a neighbor, or I have a neighbor. She's actually a school teacher. What did she do? She told her kids, she listed out everything she was going to sell. I watched the process. And she created little flyers from A4 paper, and she got her kids to distribute it round in the estate. And when, you know, the lockdown was so serious, we found out that we were all drifting to her house to go and buy the smallest things, including bubble gum. She had everything. And I went to pay her a visit, and I was amazed. Her dining room was from floor to ceiling boxes of biscuits, lollipops, drinks. Her kitchen had turned into a storehouse. She had deep freezer, everything. She emptied out everything, and she created space. So if you needed anything that was frozen, she had it. She had bread. You name it. And I had a chat with her and said, oh, actually, she's a school teacher. And now that, you know, schools were not open, she had to do something, and she just wanted to be a blessing to her community. You can do the same thing. Look around you. There's something that you can do that will bring you money. There's a problem that you have been, you know, placed there to solve it. It might just be a nanny. It might just be cooking the meals, making the cake, something. So when you do that, it brings us to our topic. You are the first recipient when it comes to reward. Imagine how I felt when I made my first sale day before yesterday, it was like a joke. It's like, oh, I have this platform for like 5 months. Let me go on it. Initially, the platform was to buy, not to sell. And then I had a chat with a friend. And she was like, oh, her wardrobe collapsed, and she decided to use that platform. Like, you know what? I have that platform. Let's see. And I was so stunned. I had just posted some things, and in less than an hour, somebody was like, she bought it off. Another person bought off, and I was like, ooh, this is good. You understand? What have I done? I have solved the problem. She didn't need to go to the market to pick up whatever it was. She didn't have to really search online to look for whatever it was. What she needed was right there. You have the ability, you have the skills, you have the gifts. Some of us know how to talk. Start a YouTube channel and see what's going on YouTube. Some of us are just gamers. You find out that Gen Zs are making a lot of money. They're not stealing, they're not doing anything off. Some of them just play games, and they're heavily paid because people just sit and watch the outcome of the game. How about that? So, I'm sure you've gotten something from what I've said today. You are the first beneficiary in everything you do. Your blueprint of reward is you. The money you can make for yourself. The skills you can trade. Sometimes it's not even, you just start and you find out that people just want to pay you for what you're doing, what you really enjoy. I know of somebody, her love for fashion, her love for clothes. She's a makeup artist. She got invited to London Fashion Week some years ago. That was a highlight of it, you know. And today she makes wigs. People just call her up, oh, I need my makeup done, I'm going to a party. And she charges you for traveling from her house to your house to get your makeup done. You need a wig. I remember trying to get a wig from her, and she gave me the price. I'm like, sister, this is a lot. She said, but I buy my products. And I understood with her. I have another friend who is winning awards. Her story is so interesting. She had an accident about 13 years ago, and unfortunately, she lost a very close one. She broke her legs and was on crutches for a while. She couldn't work again. She had IT skills, and she realized she could make hair. And so she started making people's hair. And today she has a mobile salon. You call her and her girls, and they come to your house, and they come and make your hair. And she's winning awards all over London and even beyond, you know. And she just took what the problem was, what her own problem was. And she said she was sitting, when she found that she could walk, she started telling people, I can make hair. I can help you. From helping, it became her trade. And she's combined IT. She has a wonderful platform that you click in, do this, do that. I met another young lady also who does nails. She has a mobile salon, she and her team. And if you hear the kind of people that call her, celebrities call her to their homes to get their nails done, to get their pedicure, manicure done. So look around you. You're a problem solver. You are actually a problem solver. Never ever accept the fact that you cannot solve a problem. You solve problems every day. Mommy, I fell down, my knee is hurting. That little sorry has solved the problem for the child. Oh, I need water. Oh, let me get you a glass of water. Moving from point A to point B, you have given somebody a glass of water. You have solved somebody's thirst. Look inwards. Look inwards. I'm encouraging you today, look inwards. You have that blueprint. You have it in your DNA. You have it all over you. Some of you, it's just the way you dress, the way you wear your clothes. And people want to learn that. I remember somebody screaming during the lockdown that she didn't know how to do her eyebrows. And I'm like, oh, really? I called up a makeup artist. I said, this is business for you. This lady is crying. She doesn't know how to do her eyebrows. And a video was sent to her immediately. And they linked up. And I don't know if she's still in touch with the lady, but a problem was solved there and then. And this person wasn't really doing makeup as she used to do before. She had even shut that down and was doing something else. But she was the first person that came to mind. So, in all that I've said, I am quite sure you have definitely learned something today. You are the first recipient of everything you do. Skills, knowledge acquisition, whatever you do, always remember yourself. Because when you're okay, everything else around you is going to be okay. But if you're not okay, I can assure you, everything around you too just might not be okay. You understand? So, till I come your way again, my name is Gladys, and some people refer to me as a moneypreneur because I talk about money a lot. I like money. So I'm sure the next time when we meet, I would have a lot of stories of what we've done to reward ourselves, to get ourselves out of the sticky financial situation we find ourselves, and to be positive and happy, you know, that we are the blueprint of our own reward. Stay wonderful, stay good, solve a problem, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I hope it was good.